So the question is it possible to get that level of mastery of the mind so that we don't let the mind take over, that we are in fact able to relinquish the mind, step into something different and bigger? Is that possible? And I would say it is very possible, and in the long run, it is probable. It's possible and probable. And I would perhaps not use the word mastery, because we have associations where until I've reached that level of such tremendous perfection to be called, mastery, then it's really not, I'm not there yet. In fact, what happens is we initially tentatively experiment with these kinds of things, and we find that it has some promise. It looks interesting. It's like a 1% thing. Maybe it's something to look at. It starts there. And that's actually pretty good, actually. Because, why do I say it's good? Because this is a non-linear process. It's unlike your typical schooling. I'm going to go to first grade, then second grade, and past that, and third. In fact, what happens is, if I were to use that analogy, you're going first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, and suddenly you're in 10th grade. That's what I mean by non-linear when you work with light. Because up until then, incremental, steady progress, you see light, you see it works, you're willing to a little bit more turn to the light, a little bit sooner, more often, and it looks like it has more promise. And so you develop this trust in the unknown, because from the mind's perspective, this light business is a whole, like, I don't know what that is. That's an unknown. I don't know what it is. That's good. It is an unknown from the mind's point of view. And we start there. Unknown is good. No problem. But we still go there, and we still directly experience the magic of light. In spite of the mind's constant commentary that, oh, I don't know about this. I haven't seen any scientific articles lately. It always goes to its source of credible information. But really, I would say the source of credible information is your own consciousness. There's no better source of credible information than your own consciousness. Okay? So once you get that, the mind starts weakening, and you start engaging with the unknown, and you are willing to go there deeper and deeper and deeper. And when there come turning points, you could call it tipping point. Like I said, at 5th grade, you've reached a tipping point where you truly say, you know what, I really get it. I want to go there. I don't know what it is, but I want to go there. Suddenly you find you're gone from 5th grade to 10th grade. And this is why I also call it magical, because you're like, I might have to work very hard. This is the typical mind's thing. You're still in elementary school. It'll take you like 100 years to get the mastery. You don't want to listen to that voice. That is the voice of the mind with its typical linear way of thinking. And it doesn't know what it's talking about. It's trying to assess the unknown, which is outside of its domain. So fortunately, by the time we reach this tipping point, we are like the mind, we've turned it down enough. And this is one of the key points. You do not need mastery of the mind. You do not need to reach a point where I have reached a point where I can get it down to like zero, my thoughts. And now maybe this light thing will work. No. The good news is the mind was very loud. You got to turn it down a little bit, and maybe a little bit, and maybe a little bit more. And that's good enough. Then the light can take over. That's why I'm so optimistic about this process. If it was that the mind, we got to get this down here, mastered the mind. Now let's take a look at this. What is this light business? It's not like that. It's the mind is going down, down, down. Light is going up, up, up. And then suddenly at some critical turning point, tipping point, the light dominates. in your consciousness. And then the mind is like, then you're like, what, you're still around? Now it suddenly drops quite a bit because you have taken the power away from it, actually. So the mastery is no more, it's not like I'm going to wrestle with this guy and, I'm going to have these use powerful techniques and somehow it's like mastering some sport or a game. We think it's kind of like that. It's not like that. At some point, the mind, we look at it, we're like, what? You've been running my life? We take the power away. It's without the power you give it, it falls to the floor. So it's not the kind of mastery that we usually think of. But somebody else might look at you and say, oh boy, sounds like you have mastery. But actually, you don't feel that way. You just feel like, all I know is I'm living in this vast field of consciousness, field of light. And mastery is not even in my vocabulary. And the mind, I remember that. I remember when it used to be all day, as soon as I wake up, the mind is running. And I remember that. And occasionally it still talks to me and I talk to it, but it's like no big deal. It's like an old friend. It's like that. Somebody might say, are you a master? You'd be like, I don't know about mastery. It's just that I don't even go there. It's irrelevant. It's like a game you used to play that you just don't play anymore. So it's like, let's say tennis. It's not like I've mastered tennis and now I'm better than Federer. It's not like I've reached a level of mastery. It's like tennis has become irrelevant. Can't quite call it mastery. So it's different. That's why I'm so excited about working with light, because there are approaches where you simply work with the mind, you wrestle with the mind, you overcome it a little bit, you wrestle some more, overcome it a little more, wrestle more, and it's like a battle, a never-ending battle. But when you consciously engage with light and bring light into that space, it changes the dynamics of the whole journey. Suddenly, it's like a big upgrade. And the journey doesn't have to feel like this constant battle. It's actually now truly unfolding in how I feel the universe intended it. The universe wasn't expecting us to just endlessly fight battles and have no help. In fact, when we start moving in that direction and we consciously engage with light, internally you feel like victory is mine kind of feeling. You feel like the balance has been restored into your consciousness. Previously it was kind of lopsided and we had maladjusted to the lopsided thing, and the mind says, don't worry, I'll take care of that. So we got so adjusted to this maladjustment with the mind stepping in every corner, the mind steps in, that now it restores the balance and it actually feels good, which really tells you something is going on here, something good is going on. When you choose light, life becomes increasingly joyful, purposeful, and inspired. I invite you to join me to explore the realms of light, the infinite possibilities that light offers.